right, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived here at the Skagit Speedway, and it is officially night number 1 of the 2022 Bob's Burgers and Brew Summer Nationals, which is the biggest 360 sprint car race of the season at this racetrack. I believe it's $2,000 to win tonight and a big $10,000 payday to win tomorrow. So very neat that Skagit is putting up some big money for all their local Pacific Northwest guys to kind of compete for. If you take a look behind me as well, you can see them finishing up the final preparations for night number 1 on the racetrack, just trying to get as much water into this surface as they can. It's pretty hot here in northern Washington at the moment, and it's gonna be all afternoon. So it's gonna be really important that they're able to stay on top of it. As far as a quick rundown on tonight's format, I believe we're gonna be heading out for wheel pack here in just about an hour after the pit meeting. Then we'll be rolling into hot laps, single car qualifying, and similar to the Dirt Cup, they're gonna be doing a heat race with an invert. I believe it's 8, so that means quick time would start 4th row outside. You gain finishing points in that heat race as well as what you accumulate from qualifying, and then they're gonna do another invert in the A later on. Maybe it's like 16, so mainly, you know, most of the field. And that with these 360 guys will be super interesting. So the main thing, do your best every single time you're on track and try just to do what you can tonight to set you up for tomorrow, where all that money is gonna be handed out. But also tonight there's some money on the line as well, so you just wanna be on the gas. Anyway though, we're gonna be getting after it at the Skagit Speedway. Excited to see all of our fans rolling in here soon, and we're hoping to put on a good show for you guys. Qualifying is over. Just pulled back in from the scales. We were the 30th car to go out of 36, which, as you guys know, in wing sprint car racing, the later you go out sometimes, it makes it just a little bit more difficult to go towards the top of the charts in qualifying. And I felt like our car was good. I say that a lot, but both my laps were just a little bit mediocre. We'll see where we end up. It was one of those deals where I went out, I knew what I needed to do. I absolutely had to stick the bottom in 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. You could kind of run around the middle, or you could run through the middle on entry and turn down and catch the grip coming off. And like I said, both laps were just okay. And then of course, right after the checkered, I went to the bottom in 1 and 2 and actually stuck it. Like I hit it and I just know it was way faster. And both laps before, I kind of caught it on entry, but I was like tight and it just pushed me from the center off. I kind of got on the right front and I slid across, you know, I felt like I just lost time. So we'll see where we end up. Hopefully our laps weren't horrible, you know, maybe backside of the top 10 or top 15, especially for when we went out, but it just sucks because, you know I felt like I left a little bit on the table. So keep you guys updated. My crew's on their way back to the car right now, and I'm kind of sure I'll get some feedback on what I need to do better. So we're about to head out for the heat race now. Qualified a little bit better than I maybe made it sound like in the last clip, you could say. Ended up 8th quick, so that is gonna put us starting 4th row inside of our heat race. We need to try to move forward. I would say starting 7th, ideally we would like to finish in the top 3, but at least get to 4th. That would give us some solid finishing points going into the A main event, where there will once again be another invert. So guess our qualifying laps weren't horrible. It just sucks when you felt like you left, you know, a couple of tenths on the table, and that would have carried us maybe from like 8th to possibly the top 3 towards quick time, which would have been really nice. But now we're focused on the heat race. That will be next. started 7th and ran 2nd, but we didn't do it without me creating some extra work and making it much harder on myself. First lap, literally, talk about the saying, you know, don't try and win it on the first lap. I did. I saw a hole open up. The top in 1 and 2 was really good. A couple guys tried to dive low. Everyone kind of checked up. I tried to go to the outside and hop the car in front of me's right rear. So it actually broke the shock mount off almost completely. It was just held on by a little bit. Trey Starks came over, one of our fellow competitors, and he re-welded it back on. We used the grinder first and got it all cleaned up, and now it's, he said it shouldn't go anywhere. Also, we had some help from Mel Roberts and a couple other people standing here, so big thanks to Trey and Mel and everyone else. Just a frustrating deal. Like I said, that was my fault. I knew right away that it was a bonehead move. It was just me being way too greedy, way too early on. This was the stud that held the shock, so it completely murdered our left front shock and then broke the mount off. But we were able to get the mount back on and get another shock on the car, and everything else appears to be fine as far as the front axle goes. Somehow, some way though, we were still able to hold on for a good finish. I really wasn't sure if my heat race was going to be over or what exactly was wrong. I just knew that the left front was not in good condition, and we were just able to kind of limp around, and even with, you know, that problem and the left front moving around a lot and dipping and coming up, man, I still had great grip, and I was able to go down low and run the high side and pass cars and use that last yellow to my advantage to you know, eventually go from 5th to 2nd there in just a couple of laps. So big thanks to our team and everyone for working hard. We got it all back together, and the A main event will be up next. With that, moving forward in the heat race, we are now currently sitting 5th in points out of 36 360s, and we'll be rolling off from the 12th starting spot in the A main event. So mistake, bounce back, and now we're still in a good spot, and we got it all back together, and we're ready to hit the track here in just a little bit. Looks like the surface is slicking it off, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward, because that is going to be key.
All right, good luck, bud. Love you. Be safe. This thing's gnarly, dude.
I know. Watch your step.
Love you.
Well, night one of the Summer Nationals is complete, and the car is sitting behind me in one piece. Started 12th, rallied up to 5th, so a +7 charge moving forward. You know, not to immediately jump into like what I wanted to do better, but I thought we maybe had a shot at a podium, and if things shook out different, we definitely could have. Moved forward early on. I felt like I was patient, and I was really able to work a couple of different lines, use the bottom a little bit, mainly use the high side as there was just so much speed up there tonight. It's crazy the amount of momentum you build up around Skagit, and that's really what this place is all about. So early on, I kind of jumped up to the top once we all started to single file out, maybe worked up to like 7th or 8th. Through a couple of slide jobs, like it was getting really intense, and same for all the cars around me. It wasn't like I was the only one going crazy. And you probably saw one of the lead cars broke, and he was slowing in turns 3 and 4 right as I was throwing a slide job, and I just saw him at the last second, got sideways, nicked him with my right side Nerf bar, and did a 360 Carly style like she did at Cottage Grove a couple of weeks back, and kept the car running and was able to maintain my spot. So that was a game changer. That saved us from having to go to the back. At that point, I think we were running like 6th or 7th. Lost a spot, gained a couple of spots, kind of went back and forth, and then at the highest we got up was probably 4th or 5th, and I was right behind the lead pack. I could see Colton Heath leading the race, and that's ultimately where I kind of stalled out. I was really good, and then once we got into a little bit thicker traffic, and right as I could see 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, you know, just a couple car lengths ahead of me, it felt like I kind of struggled. I tried to go to the bottom to pass a car, lost momentum, and then Thornhill slid me, and then for just like a lap and a half, I was kind of back and forth, and it just took me some time to get back going. So that kind of sucked. Overall, we ended up 5th. I just think if I could have done my job a little bit better at the end of the race to kind of close it out, we could have had a shot to race with Sanders, Starks, and Heath. But the 18T had great speed. Really proud of how our car ran tonight and what we were able to accomplish starting towards the back and moving forward. So with our performance tonight, between qualifying, our heat race, and our A main event charge, we ended up 4th in overall points, which locks us into the top 6. Maybe it's a pole shuffle tomorrow, so we're not gonna have to requalify and we're not gonna have to run a heat race. 5th on back end points will, but the top 4, which is Trace Starks, Justin Sanders, Jason Sowald, and myself, are already locked in, and we kind of get to hang out, I guess, for the first half of tomorrow and get ready for the 10,000 to win feature. And Skagit is prepping the track for that at the moment. So the game plan, try to get a little bit better behind the wheel. I gotta be on it, make a couple of less mistakes, and then I think we're gonna tweak our setup on the 18T just to try to be a little bit better in the slick around the high side. Mainly in 1 and 2, it's really easy to just lose time on entry and kind of through the center as it's a little bit flatter. 3 and 4, I feel like our car's really good. Has a little bit more banking and it's just so fast, but 1 and 2, you can kind of make some moves and move around. So we're just gonna try to get our car better for the whole A main event and try to be good on lap 1 and on lap 36. But thank you guys so much for watching. Skagit, glad that I was able to put a whole night together, top 5 plus 7, all that feels great. A lot of positive fan feedback from everyone that was here in person, and I'd love to hear that too. Just from the slide jobs, and a lot of guys said I just looked confident and comfortable in the car, and I felt that. I think we're really starting to hit on some things, and even though this car, it was its first night of the season, and just to let you guys know, the nickname of this car is the Breezeway car, because it was sitting in the Breezeway at my dad's work for like the last 4 months, and one of his employees gave that nickname. So that's what we're gonna call it. It's the Breezeway car. It was sitting there abandoned. We threw it together when we needed it, and it ran pretty good. So a stellar night at Skagit to turn our luck around. Just want to give a quick shout out now to On-Site Screeners, Fast 4 Media, Next Gen Def, Carson Oil, Lafarge, Pit Stop USA, Earth It Environmental, QRC, as well as ABC Powder Coating and Bullseye Design and Print, and then our crew, Brian, my dad, Carissa, Carly, Mom, and all of our great fans for supporting us. It's been an up and down year, but we had a good night, and we're hoping to also continue that tomorrow for the 10,000 to win finale. And I mean, it'd be pretty sick to have our name on that check. So we're gonna get some sleep tonight, and we're gonna have our A game on for tomorrow. See you guys all there. Deuces.